I have just quit my job. Now, that sounds weird saying that. It sounds mad. It sounds a little bit scary as well, but it's true. I've just walked away from my job that I've had for the last 3 years in the warehouse. I know it's not a very glamorous job, but it's paid my bills for the last 3 years and it's been stable income and I've enjoyed it and I've met some brilliant people there, but I've walked away from it. And why? I've started a business. Now I'll reveal all the details of that business in just a minute, but for now I want to talk a little bit about how I've come to this decision and why I've come to this decision really. I think we can all agree that Britain feels a little bit broken right now. The cost of living is just insane. The wages that you get paid from a normal job are hardly enough to sustain you through the month. You know, I'd say 80 to 90% of people that I know are living week to week or month to month. And it's just crazy. House prices, rent, mortgages are through the roof. Energy bills, shopping, car insurance and fuel if you're lucky enough to drive, because we all know how expensive it is to run a car as well. You don't really get anywhere in life without risk. And the way I look at it right now, I haven't got a right lot financially, so I haven't got a right lot to lose, so I might as well take the risk whilst I'm still relatively young enough. That's why I'm doing it. Now, if you follow the channel or if you've already seen some of my videos, you'll see that, or you'll know that my main passion is bikes. Fixing up and selling bikes, that's just my main thing, that's what I like to do. And it's what I've been doing alongside my main job for the last 2-3 years. I've basically just been spending any spare little income that I've got on bikes, on Facebook, and then flipping them and selling them on for a little bit of profit. And I've really enjoyed it, and I have made quite a bit of money from it, but certainly not enough to sustain me full time. Now, as much as I'd love to run a business based around bikes because it's my hobby, it's just not enough. There's not enough money in there. You know, there's not enough earnings in it every month for me to pay myself a full-time wage and build a business. Now, I'm still going to be flipping bikes and still going to be buying stuff and selling stuff on Facebook. I've always done that. I just like little side hustles, but it's not going to be my main focus. I'm going to make use of my greatest asset, which is my van. Now, this is Big Jim. Big Jim is my somewhat trusty Ford Transit van. Now, before I tell you about the business that I've been running, I'll tell you a little bit about the van. So, I bought it 10 months ago in April. It had 2 previous owners and I think it was on about 140,000 miles when I bought it. It's on 150 now, so I've done about 10,000. Now, Big Jim is a 2.2 diesel Duratec. It produces a whopping 85 brake horsepower. It's a T280 medium wheelbase with a slightly higher roof, so it payloads about 800-900 kilos, so it's not too bad. What can I say? It's a bog standard transit van really, isn't it? Now, initially this van was a Virgin Media van when it was first registered, like in 2010 that was issued. The van's 2011, so it was a Virgin Media van, and then it went to a tyre shop, and now it's come to me. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Sam, the back of your van is very scruffy. Well, there's a good reason for it. So, for the last week or so, probably about 10 days, I have been running my own waste removal business with Big Jim. Probably about 2 weeks ago, I went and got my waste carrier's licence, and I got registered in my local tip. I got the insurance, and that's it. I've started doing waste removals, so I'm now fully registered to take people's stuff to the tip. I did also pay for my scrap metal licence as well, because on my very first waste job I got a load of scrap copper pipes and a bit of stainless steel and some brass, so it was really worth me just paying the £130 for the collection licence. I'm not going to go out of my way to go collect scrap metal, but if I keep getting free bits like this on the waste jobs, it's certainly going to pay for itself on the side. So why exactly did I choose a waste removal business? Well, there's a few reasons really. The first reason, you don't need much startup capital at all. I got going with this relatively cheap. Now I'll do another in-depth video about how much it costs and what you need to get going, but just know it doesn't cost a lot to get going with waste removals. The second reason, it gives me so much flexibility to do what I want. Like, I can book jobs in when I want, I can have days off when I want, like I can have 3-4 days off a week if I really want, if that's what suits my schedule. So it just makes sense for me. That's exactly why I went with waste removals. Now, there is a few problems with the van that need rectifying in the next few weeks, because it's also due its MOT in about a month's time. So let me quickly talk you through what it needs. First things first, it needs the brake pads doing all the way around. They definitely started to squeal on the front, so I know that the front brake pads need doing. I might as well do the back ones as well. It needs a full service. It hasn't been serviced in about 10,000 miles, and because it's now a workhorse and I rely on it for my money, it's in my best interest to get it serviced and just keep it in tip-top condition really. The big issue though that I have, let me show you. Now the main problem lies down this passenger side. I've got rust all along underneath, but it's actually quite bad at the back here. I can actually stick my finger straight through that and look at that. It's not good. So that definitely needs rectifying. Now that problem was there when I bought the van, so I don't know how it passed its MOT. Probably did a dodgy MOT, didn't it? Which is quite common nowadays. I do also need to replace this, because there's a hole there, I don't know if you can see it. So that lets white light through, which is obviously an MOT failure. I have actually already had a few problems with the van since I owned it, but luckily not in the last 6 months. So the first few months of ownership, it was quite bad. I was like, what have I got myself in for? So initially, the power steering went on me as I was driving it, so the power steering just failed and it became really hard to turn, and I thought it was the power steering pump. It was actually the power steering hose had corroded underneath. I'm not surprised looking underneath there how much rust there is. And whilst I was at the garage getting that sorted, he also noticed that the brake line had corroded as well, and it had a pin-sized hole in it, so I'm lucky that the brakes didn't fail. A month after that, I then had a really bad oil leak. I kept noticing oil on the ground, like in front of the van when I was parking it. That turned out to be the EGR valve. It was leaking from there. Then I had another oil leak, which turned out to be the sump, so I had to take it to the garage to get that resealed. And then the last breakdown I had was on the motorway about 7 months ago. Driving back with the boys back from Manchester, we'd just been to Amsterdam, and I just lost all power, and I knocked down and my van was overheated. Luckily a coolant hose had just popped off, so I had to let it cool down for 10 minutes, find some water at the side of the motorway, get it in, and then get back on my way. Since then, it's actually been okay. It served me well. Touch wood, it's going to continue to serve me well. That's why I'm going to spend this money on getting it serviced and get it looked after, so it serves me right for the next 12 months. So that's where I'm currently at. The van's going in for its work in a few weeks, and in the meantime I'm just going to try and grow the business. I want to make a real go of it. So with the waste removals, I'm currently getting most of my jobs through word of mouth and social media ads, but I want to take that to the next level, and I do want to start paying for some proper advertisements. I want to get some signage on the van, I want to get some uniform, I want to get a proper page going. So I'm already on Google. When you search waste removals near me, Sam's Waste Removals comes up. I think it's the 3rd one on the list, so that's brilliant. That's going to get me some work, hopefully. As we all know, it's just getting harder and harder for people to escape the 9 to 5 now. Like, compared to maybe 30, 40 years ago, I'd say it was much easier starting a business back then than what it is now. There's too many big businesses that already do everything that anyone wants to start. You know, anything a small business starts up doing, it's nothing that a big business doesn't already do and that can already crush you. You know, even getting started as a small business is hard. There's not much funding out there, or there's little help available, to help you with your taxes and your paperwork and getting registered. it's hard, they don't make it easy, and that's done purposely, I think, to keep you in a job until you retire. So you're just paying into a retirement pot that you probably never even ended up cashing in. Because the way things are going in Britain, by the time I come to retire, I'm going to have to be like 75. Am I even going to live that long? And that is why I've quit my job and started this business. Because I want to make something in my life, you know. I don't want to be rich, I don't want to be successful in that aspect. I just want to be comfortable and to be able to maybe one day own a bit of land or a house. That's all I want. I think that's what anyone ever wants. Because the way things are in Britain at the minute, everyone's going to end up owning nothing, and the government will expect you to be happy about that. Now, don't get me wrong, starting a business probably isn't for everyone. Not everyone is business minded, and that's fine. We need workers out there, but I do know that there's a lot of workers out there that aren't content with the job or aren't happy and are just stuck doing the same thing over and over, doing something that they hate until they can eventually afford to one day retire. I will do some more videos soon as well, talking about how I got started and how much money I'm earning every month. Obviously, I've only just started, so give me a month or two to get going, and then I will update you with them figures, because I know that people are going to be curious about it, and there's going to be people that want to start their own waste removal business. If you've enjoyed watching, don't forget to drop a like down below as well, and leave a comment. What's your side hustle idea? Have you got a business that you're just starting up, or that you're wanting to start up? Have you got an idea? Are you too scared to take that leap? Just drop a comment down below. I'll keep an eye out for them all, and I'll leave you a reply. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.